So everyone today sees Henry Ford as the father of the automobile. What if I told you that if certain things hadn't played in his favor, another man named Preston Tucker would have taken his place? Preston Tucker's attempt to submerge himself in the auto industry failed overall because of his poor management in business. Today I'm going to speak about who Preston Tucker is, how he funded his corporation, and why his attempt failed. Preston Tucker is often not a person heard of. He is a man of many talents to some and a man of false hope to others. He started off, he spent most of his life in cars. He worked for various companies such as Ford, Chrysler, Pierce Arrow, Cadillac, and even for an engineer designer named Harry H. Miller. He started out as a mechanic and he worked his way into sales. During this time, the World War II was going on, and he actually noticed that most of the car companies in the car industry had stopped their production to focus their resources on vehicles for the military, so no new car models were coming out. And this sparked an idea. He decided to start his own company, and he called it Tucker Corporation. And Tucker Corporation, his plans for it was to sell cars. And according to Preston Tucker's Dream by Tony Davis in the Sydney Morning Herald, also featured on the opposing views, his car was supposed to have four-wheel disc brakes, supposed to have seat belts, headlights that turned, doors that slid into the roof. It was going to be going 138 miles per hour and have 35 miles to the gallon. On Preston Tucker facts on yourdictionary.com, it says, hailed as a visionary by some and a con artist by others, Preston Tucker was the man behind an innovative, futuristic-looking car that debuted amid great fanfare during the summer of 1948. And his car actually created a lot of commotion. It created commotion among the press. His car was advertised as a very futuristic car. Then it caused a lot of commotion among people. He promised them a new car model that hasn't been seen before, and they're really excited, looking forward to that. And it was the perfect opportunity because of the war effort. During that time, all the other companies were put on hold. And so he was a new and emerging company. The National Museum of American History on the Smithsonian site says, Preston Tucker's automobile was promoted as the first completely new car in 50 years because of its novel engineering and safety features and its unique styling. Preston Tucker had big plans, but he still had a long way to go. His ideas were in place, but he still needed the funding. So he created a plan, and that plan was to pre-sell his cars. His cars started to be pre-sold, and he made a quite amount of money from that, but he was given a deadline because they were pre-selling, and he had to build his first car by that deadline. He continued his plan, so first he started pre-selling the cars, then he started pre-selling accessories to those cars, and the Preston Tucker's Dream, the Sydney Morning Herald on opposing views, also helps us to know that because of that deadline, he still didn't really have the necessary funds and resources, and so he had to make a change to his car plans. And the prototype came out, and that prototype was kind of sketchy to a lot of people because it was comprised of parts of an Oldsmobile, and they didn't really like that. The way Preston went about to trying to finance his dream eventually raised some suspicion. Finances were only part of Preston's troubles. Other major companies may also have had a major part in his company's demise. The government launched an investigation against Preston Tucker for fraud, and those counts of fraud and that investigation led to damage to his credibility. And because of his damage to his credibility, potential investors and buyers didn't want to do business with him, and that eventually led his company to go bankrupt. Preston Tucker accused Ford, GM, and Chrysler for this, and according to the Foundation for Economic Education, they are known as the Big Three. Preston accused the Big Three of being involved in the government investigation against Tucker Corporation. He also accused them of convincing suppliers to stop supplying Tucker Corporation so they couldn't get parts. These allegations may or may not have been true. Preston Tucker was a man of great ideas. how he financed his company, outside intervention, and possible involvement from other major car companies are some of the things that helped to bring down his company and bring down his strength. Some people view him as a con artist, and other people view him as a wonderful man. His failure to submerge himself in the car company is a piece of history that not many know of, but a piece nonetheless.